Aqua as a character is very often says, and I'm not lying, and this is not a lie. And now that I think about it, if I actually like tried to think and categorize all of the moments he said, like when do I know confirmed that he was lying? But actually, how often was he telling like the truth?
Yeah.
You know, and now that I think about it, I'm like, he tells the truth a lot.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I definitely believe when he said to Akane that how he respects her as an actress. Totally believe that. I think he was thoroughly impressed by her acting skills and how much she could channel so perfectly.
I do think it's 100% the truth. That being said, it's probably like, oh, I'm going to tell her the truth here. And in the back of my head, telling her the truth here will benefit me in the long run because it's solidifying a relationship between the two of us where I have more trust within her so I can use that later on.
So I'm just going to see if I understand what you're saying. Are you thinking that he is giving some truth to her, even if it is the truth of I don't see you that way, in order to instill a trusting relationship with her to actually use her for more longevity instead of trying the boyfriend and girlfriend route and then it failing before he can use her knowledge or understanding and profiling skills?
I could sure I could see it that way, but I don't think it's that deep. I think it's Aqua being like, I've decided that I want to go this route, so I'm not going to do anything to to be malicious in this relationship or try to put it down, throw it down the drain. I'm going to be honest and upfront with my positive feelings towards her and make sure that they're genuine and real. And I don't think that there is as much of a game mental gymnastics going on at the moment with Akane. I don't think there
But you don't think there needs to be?
No.
This character, I don't think you would need to play games with Akane.
Well, and that's the thing. So what I was really happy about was Aqua's decision to compliment her where he did. Because when you're talking about using somebody, you could easily see that as Aqua's putting on an act and falls in love with Akane and makes her feel like he's actually in love with her. And no, there's a level of respect that Aqua has for Akane and this relationship and, how they're going to interact going forward that I think caused Aqua to make the decision of how he was going to go forward with that being, oh, I love you as an actor, right? I like you as an actor. That's real. Rather than, oh no, I'm really into you, playing up a bit, which is really cool. Cause I think it comes from a respect for Akane too.
See, I was wondering if it comes from respect, yes, because I don't think he was lying there, but also from the idea of reading people. And he is obviously from the last 2 episodes, I believe Aqua is very aware of how earnest and sweet and honest and nice of a person Akane is, and how it is someone you could probably have an actual friendship with that would tell you more. And if you were like, hey, meet me at the cafe and tell me more about your research of I bet she'd be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, of course.
I'll meet you.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, a level, how much is respect? How much is him trying to calculate a certain response? How much is it him using his own observation and people understanding skills in order to know that you don't need to play games with this person or use them so secretly?
Yeah. I wonder what it will actually mean in terms of using her because
it's such a big line.
But you
can use her now.
It's not not even the line, just her potential. You could in your head think of so many ways that she could be integral to the story and how Aqua could be using her to determine what kind of guy I would potentially be into. But at the same time, I'm it doesn't seem like the Oshinoko way, 7 episodes, 8 episodes in, to heavily rely on a new character like that from Aqua's point of view all at once. I can see him utilizing her abilities sparsely, but not flat out, just being tell me everything, figure it out,
It could be more helpful. I mean, especially since he can't take her around in his back pocket. It could be helpful to him to use her sparingly in moments where he wants to maybe a confirmation of his own intuition. If say he were at another party or function for a new show he was at and he invited her as his girlfriend, because they're still pretending, at least for the media,
to
that party because he has suspicions about one guy.
Yeah.
And he could be like just talking to her and been like, oh, do you think that's the type of guy I would be into? Maybe to confirm some of his own intuition or suspicions, he could probably use her in that way.
But he wouldn't, I don't think, unless he made the decision to tell her everything, which I don't think he'd do, would ever make it that blatant. Like, I think that it would be perceived as a weird character if somebody like Aqua at the moment would go out of his way to ask his girlfriend if this other party is a type of person that I would be in. You know, we have the benefit of being behind the screen and being able to see everything going on. But I think that Aqua with Akane is like think about the other like guys or like on the show right now. Like anybody who is not Akane and Mem. Going forward a month from now, 2 months from now, Aqua will still be on good terms with them, but in like realistic instances of being able to use them, like how close or accessible they would be, how much trust they have in him, that's going to fade because there's not going to be a consistent like checkup with them. Mm-hmm. That's what he's not letting happen with Akane. He's making sure that there's
a contact there, that they still have a bridge that's built between them almost at all times for whenever he needs to cross it or to ask her something. Yeah. I mean, I do wonder if that drop of profiling information, like she believes that I had a kid, is that really all just to spur on this new determination from Aqua to keep this possible resource in his life? Or is it narratively like some type of hint or some type of nudge at the audience that someone might figure it out, or someone might get close to figuring it out? Or that someone should know and that he might tell someone, or Ruby might tell someone. I don't know. It's such a big plant and it's such a secret in the show that having a character say it because they figured it out from just watching a bunch of videos from that they've have this new theory. Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, narratively, is it actually going to be used more than just to further Aqua's ideas of who he can use and how he can use them?
I don't think it will be at the moment. And I think that the decision to not have Akane do something crazy like be the one to join Bikomochi or join, like, then it would solidify that, then there could potentially be an interaction with Ruby or like their mom, right? But no, like they're keeping it removed to a sense that I think that at the moment all it's acting as is proof of how good and intelligent Akane is at her research in regards to I absolutely love Mem. I'm so glad that Mem is going to be in the show more. And I was so scared that we were going to lose her being on screen every episode. You know what I mean?
So I started to get excited. Obviously, we've seen the opening. Yeah. And we've speculated, that Mem might be someone that joins. Mm-hmm. And it was like felt solidified in my feelings that was going to be the next step once she was watching the rest of the group of Love Now walk away and it was just her and Aqua. Yeah. And she said something along the lines of like that she was going to miss this. And I started thinking about how, this character always works by herself. She does all of her editing by herself. She does all of her marketing by herself. She is her one-woman team. And she was really enjoying the presence of like being in a group setting. Yeah. That's a perfect little like tip or hint for the audience.
I wonder how Mem and Kana will get along. I wonder if Kana will at all try to prod into what actually is going on between Aqua and Akane. And most of all in that interaction, I wonder if Mem will be able to teach Ruby a thing or two.
I mean, Mem just seems like she would get along with like everyone. Yeah. So I could see her having a good relationship with Ruby, a very fun relationship. Kana is just such a cute character. She is so talkative. Her whole world gets brighter as soon as Aqua walks up to her. Yeah. And so that is a good kind of thinking of going into the actually putting the group together. How would Mem and Kana interact? I like the idea that Kana might use Mem as a resource to get actual information maybe about especially if she feels like he's a big jerk that might have possibly lied to her.
Yeah.
It's a good resource for her.
I have a few more things. We had a line early on in the episode about from Aqua in regards to I and saying like, oh, trying to figure out where the lies end and the truth begins. And I love that because it's not that simple based off of everything that the show has ever taught us. Like everything in regards to I, seemingly at least, is so intertwined and interwoven together that trying to pick that apart and determine what is and was not real is like an impossible task almost.
Especially when to use as reference and evidence of just how complicated and intertwined it is. Think back to Yuki and how Yuki chose to act on this reality TV show as just an exaggeration of things that did actually happen to her.
Yeah.
So it's truth and lie, but what is truth but then like slightly exaggerated,
yeah.
You know, with more of an emotional spin to it. If she's crying because something sad happened to her, you'd be like, oh, that made her sad. But maybe she's like, yeah, I was a little sad, but then I made myself cry because I was a little sad. So like
many levels to it.
The scales of how serious something would be to you or how big an event was. How do you really feel about something? What did you actually hate?
It's just there's so many different specifics that it'd be impossible to tie down. Also, Aqua commenting about how he's almost becoming this different person because of how the memories have been affected through this reincarnated version of himself aging. Like he's becoming Aqua now more than he is, more than he used to be, more of the doctor version of him in another person's body. He's like becoming, like percentage wise, more Aqua than his previous himself.
That, and he's also becoming more comfortable in his body.
Yeah.
Because it's matching up now with a closer age and thought process and you know, cognitive ability as his past self.
Yeah.
That it seems like this body he's becoming a lot more comfortable in, a lot more confident in. A lot more like, I don't have to, as a baby, not only did he have like infantile repression of memories, or it was harder for him to remember things.
Infantile amnesia.
Yeah, infantile amnesia. But now, yeah.
Yeah. My last thing that I have written down is that like the immersion in the show is so well done, and it's going to sound like a really random comparison, but there's something in the dialogue that reminds me of Steins Gate, which we're watching right now. And it's like the quick succession of each character talking compared to what I'm used to in modern day anime is so refreshing. And it keeps me like glued to the screen, like specifically talking in the bar with Akane and Aqua this episode. They're like quick dialogue and conversation back to each other was done so well, and the voice acting is so good. Loved it.
I mean, we definitely love with Steins Gate that when the characters are speaking with one another, it feels like these are actually friends who are having a natural conversation.
Yeah.
And natural, like, quick-witted, like, they know each other's, like, inside jokes almost. Like, they're very, like, on the same page. They know each other. It's natural.
Makes the characters feel more like alive. Real people, you know?
And the relationship's more alive, too.
I love this show.
This is a good show.
You have anything?
No, I think we talked about everything that I've been thinking about.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. Put it down, like, throw it down the drain. Put it down, like, throw it down the drain. Throw it down the drain.
Throw it down the drain.